I'm going to call the morning's meeting to order. Please stand and we'll recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning. First thing out of the gate, I'd ask for approval of today's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for today.
I will second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next item I have is approval of the minutes from January 4th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of January 4th and January 6th of 2021.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next I have is the approval of claims for payment dated January 13th, 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve the January 13th, 2021 claims for payment.
I will second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next item is emergency management update. Emergency management coordinator Creighton.
He is not on.
Not on
Okay.
yet.
If he joins us during the meeting, let me know, Michael. Go ahead and move on to public health update. Rocky.
Good morning.
Rocky.
Just wanted to provide a COVID update for everybody. So as of this morning, we are at 1,527 positive cases thus far for the county, and 1,366 of those are considered recovered, which leaves us with about 161 currently active. We're doing really good with our vaccine administration for 1A. We're just about finished up with our first round of that, and we'll be getting our allocation for round 2 probably later this week. So we'll start with round 2 of our shots. IDPH put on their website a kind of like a vaccine administration page. So it shows how many we've done, and they plan to update that Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So as of Monday, I just looked, 457 out of 600 of our doses had been administered. But with our clinics that we had last night in Alden and then yesterday, I'm going to guess that we have a little less than 100 left to give out to our 1A people. So those would be our healthcare personnel, long-term care residents, and then those in the county that provide direct patient care. So I think we're sitting pretty well.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Taylor, utility permits. I didn't see any on the agenda today. Secondary roads department update.
Yep, so just a reminder that they closed the bridge on S27 there between Buckeye and Radcliffe. So construction's begun. People are being detoured west onto S21, which still drops you right on the west side of Radcliffe. So it's pretty easy detour. And we're out cutting brush a lot right now. Complaints have been minimal, but if anyone in the future does not want their trees cut in front of their house, they need to trim them before they get onto the road. So just kind of our advice for people. You know, we're gonna take care of it if it gets to the point where it's interfering with traffic. So but we haven't had any complaints the last few weeks, so just try to stay ahead of things.
Anything for Taylor, Lance, or Renee?
Do you have any idea of how long S27 will be closed?
5 or 6 months maybe.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think June was their guess right now.
Okay. Good to know.
All depends on weather.
Yeah. True.
Next
Right.
week, FEMA update. Okay.
I can give you one now. I guess we got our first.
Sure.
We got our first check yesterday from FEMA. Our first big one. We've had some little ones, so that was 190,000. So we should get about 9 more of those still coming to us.
Excellent.
Good.
Don't know how fast they'll come in, but already. I think they're maybe a year away still.
Same amount on every one of them?
No,
Okay.
it'll be different every time.
Excellent.
Thanks.
All right, Michael. This time, if you would like to publicly comment, please unmute yourself.
I have a question. This is Curt Groen. When we had the election, the new vote counting machine malfunctioned, and I was wondering if anything was ever done about getting that returned with the switch in people in the office there.
Okay. I will, Jolene's here in the room. She heard your comment. I'll let her respond to that either today if she wants or next week.
I've sent some emails out, and right now they are looking at, they have to find some Canon guys because they are the scanners, they're in charge of the scanners. But they are going to schedule someone to come down and at least look at it and see where we stand.
Okay.
So that's still under warning?
It's still under warning. So we'll find out, hopefully, I'm hoping, if not this week, next week, someone will come down.
Okay,
Kurt.
thank you. I just wanted to make sure that hadn't fallen through the cracks.
Appreciate it. Additional public comment?
I have a question. Mr. Hoffman, the people of this county want reassurance that you will not participate in any actions at the Capitol in Des Moines this weekend and prior to the inauguration of President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. Do you commit to avoid participating in any demonstrations or armed actions in Des Moines?
Absolutely, Julie. I will be officiating the youth wrestling tournament this weekend. So, yeah.
Where's that taking place at?
I believe it is, Taylor, where is it? Oh, okay, it was canceled. So I won't be officiating that. So I'll be staying close to home. Thanks, Julie.
You're welcome. Oh, and one more question about Julie Town and that improper use of funds. Can we look forward to any charges being filed? Thank you.
You're welcome. Next public comment, please.
Yeah, guys, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you state your name for our
This
minute?
is Mick Zoske. And I want to thank everybody for giving me the time to talk today. Being deeply invested in the livestock production in our area, we raise hogs, we provide a lot of equipment to the livestock industry. Just like to know where things are at with DXE. They somewhat did a terrorist attack on our county and surrounding counties this past summer. They committed a lot of trespassing laws, broke biosecurity calls several times. If this kind of stuff happened to any other businesses in the area, law would have hit them pretty hard. So far, most of the charges against these guys have been dropped. They pretty much got slaps on the wrist. Yes, they vacated our area currently, but they have hit several sectors of the livestock industry very hard over the past couple months. And I can about assure you they are coming back for us. And when they do come back, it's going to make the first go around look like a walk in the park. I don't really expect an answer here today, but something, you know, I'd like you guys to pay close attention to and hopefully get an answer here down the road shortly. Thank you very much. And I guess if you have any questions on that, let me know.
Attorney Myers here and Sheriff McDaniel is on the call, so they have heard your concern. I'll let them follow up with you individually. Okay, Nick?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Nick. Next public comment, please.
Yes, I have a public comment. I was wondering with the shots that were given out in Alden, when can we expect those to come for the 65 and older in our area then? And how will we be notified?
I know that Rocky just stated at the top of the agenda that Section 1A is wrapping up, and once Section 1A is wrapped up, then they'll move to Section 1B priority group. So that's all been published in both newspapers and on the Greenbelt home care media, social media sites. Next public comment. Hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and move to the next item on the agenda. Mark Anderson is asked to, he contacted me and wanted to present to the board a proposal in a pyrotechnics licensing permitting. So Mark, go ahead, you have the floor. Come on up.
Okay. Well, thank you for the opportunity to come in and visit with you all this morning. My name, again, is Mark Anderson. I live about 5 miles west of Eldora on Highway 175, so I'm outside of city limits. My employer and I have been involved in fireworks shows at the South Hardin High School for home football games. We celebrate victories and touchdowns with fireworks. And like other hobbies, or similar to shooting a gun, fireworks demand a lot of respect. You need to be very careful with them. I have a level of paranoia with them and want to make certain that there aren't any surprises at any time. And we have gradually grown in doing simpler things to more complex celebrations for touchdowns and victories. And what I brought here today, do you want me to get
Sure.
it up?
Yep.
Is an example of something that in the research that I've done and chat forums and groups, this is just a rack that contains different tubes, I guess, that you would put reloadable fireworks in. And then they can be attached by one fuse so that you could, in essence, with one ignition, have multiple shots go off at once. Now, this is something that, and then on the sides here are rings that you could put re-rod or whatever into the ground to stabilize these. Now, these are very commonly sold online. It's for consumer grade fireworks. It's not professional grade 1.3. So anyone 18 and older in Iowa could buy these. The state of Iowa dictates when you can purchase these and when you can display these. And I understand there's different restrictions within city limits and outside of city limits. My understanding is that my only restriction is the dates that the state offers for me to be able to use these at my property outside of town. What I'm asking for, I'm a father of 4, the dates that the state offers, sometimes like this past window in December, my family was on vacation. What I'm asking for is just the ability to call into the sheriff's office, the non-emergency number, and just say, hey, I want to test, I want to do some testing. I want to light up a few of these in my backyard just to make sure that I don't ever have a surprise with any of these racks that I've built. If the compression causes one to burst or something, I want it to happen in my backyard, not at the high school. So I wanted to more or less do safety testing at my home, on my property, possibly outside of the dates that the state sets forth for use of these. And I don't plan on doing this on a regular basis. This is going to be probably 1 or 2 times, leading up to the fall, or whenever I have time. Back to being with the father of 4, we were on vacation during this last window, and my kids' activities have me out and about all the time. So I just, I can't predict that. I'm not going to schedule my calendar around these dates that the state puts forth for us to test these out. And if it's not approved by the county, that's fine. I just won't have the ability and that reassurance that I'm going to be at a high school game doing this stuff, that it's 110% or as safe as can be. Safety is all I'm after here. There's no other agenda. I don't want surprises. And I think that the community has grown to appreciate these celebrations for the football touchdowns and football victories. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback from it, and we're happy to do it, but I just want to do it safely. So I'm happy to entertain any questions. Some of the testing that we would have is the fuses are different speeds. So I want to test like what a 3-second per foot fuse is, how that looks when we light off, 4 or 6 at a time or whatever, compared to a 30-second fuse, because it can be too fast or too slow. And anyways, I'm kind of a perfectionist.
So, Lance, Renee, please ask away. I've talked in depth with Mark about this. I've actually engaged the sheriff. I'd like you to unmute the sheriff, please, Michael. And if the sheriff has any questions, since he's remote, do you have anything you'd like to ask or point out, Sheriff McDaniel?
No, I think Mark has laid it out pretty well. As long as he keeps us in the loop on when he'll be doing things, calls the office, so we're aware of it. I don't have any concerns with the board approving it.
And I assume you have good insurance.
Oh, sure.
You know a guy.
We carry a lot of, and in fact, yeah, I have the display commercial general liability to protect myself in addition to my homeowners and my personal umbrella. So we, yeah, I would be protected from a commercial standpoint at the high school. That was the very first thing that I did, and that's not cheap coverage to buy.
So does that commercial insurance apply for you at home as well?
It would, I mean, it would, well, no, technically my personal insurance would apply at my house. The commercial would be when I have like an engagement with a contracted like wedding venue or something like that, which I don't do. I bought that coverage just for the shows at the high school so that we could have the high school insured along with the bank and myself.
So outside of a burn ban, obviously, dry weather, I'd assume you wouldn't light that up. but-
Absolutely, I've got CRP around me, yep.
Yeah, I know. And so basically all you're doing is applying for a year-long permit and to call into the sheriff's office when ready to ignite.
Similar to what I would do for a controlled burn. Just say, hey, I know this is going on. I'm gonna start it now. I'm gonna be done in half an hour. If anybody else calls, disregard it. If it's me that calls, come on out. I need your help.
But what I'm hearing is you want a permit starting basically January 4th, ending 2021, ending January 4th, 2022.
Just an open, yeah, just
That's how I would,
Yeah.
the dates applied for, and then obviously you'd have on there all your restrictions, burn bans and everything else. You'd have to have your
anything you guys feel is appropriate, yeah.
well, which is in our
Right.
permit.
Perfect.
Renee, anything?
No, I just appreciate you taking all the precautions that you're doing in
Well,
order to do it
yeah,
safely.
no,
So-
bad things happen. It can be bad, so I want to respect that.
Daryl, while you're in the room, any concerns, questions, comments, like some time to dwell on it? Or
Yeah, I've made some notes about questions that I have, just check into the law, and when it comes to permitting, it's not going to be for, a lot of this is you wanting to be able to test when you're ready to test, and so the permit would have to have some language in there that, you know, it's not just 365 days of shooting off fireworks kind of, you know what I mean? It's for
Right.
research and
limited
development or?
yeah, it's for limited purpose and that sort of thing, but
Right.
I just want to make sure that, you know, what allowances the law makes for something like this. So,
Would there be some type of an agreement you think we could come up with, or do you think we could just do it under our usual permitting
If
process?
it can be permitted, you know, through the permit process, then whatever limitations could just be included in the permit.
Okay.
Are these commercial grade fireworks? I forgot what you said there.
They're all consumer grade. There's 1.4. There's no, no 1.3 at all.
But you do hold commercial insurance for wherever you go outside of your home.
Correct. Through an LLC. that I have,
So maybe
yeah.
if we were looking at the permitting of this for a year-round policy, that it only applies for those holding the commercial insurance. So that we don't have 100 of these pop up. It's a
True.
support
The commercial insurance could be the rider on the permit. So, I think it's just, I know you've been more than patient with me. I mean, we've had very effective communication and I really appreciate that. My suggestion would be we'll hurry up and wait and give Daryl the time to
Yeah,
do
I
due
have
diligence.
no urgency.
And I know you
whatsoever.
told me you just wanted to get ahead of the spring sports season and the other stuff. So.
Yeah, there's no urgency. I have no immediate plans whatsoever. This winter, I built these racks. They, you know, since they're designed just like the ones I could buy online for multiples of what I have invested into this. I don't want to pay for shipping. I just drive the lumberyard and pick up my materials. but they all, because they're homemade, they each fit a little bit differently. My carpentry isn't that precise, I guess, so I want to make sure that there's no surprises with any of them. And really, yeah.
And maybe just for the record and so public knowledge that you have done apprenticeship or job shouting with J&M.
J&M Displays, they're in eastern Iowa. I've jumped through all the training with them, so I am technically an employee of theirs, which allows me to assist with the bigger professional shoots. So Spirit Lake or City of Iowa Falls, yeah, the Prairie Meadows, the Principal Park. J&M is in charge of all those, and if I had the time, I would be able to assist in those. I did it just for the education. I did it, and at some point when my kids are out of the house, maybe I'll help with a show for the city of Eldora or something like that. But right now I have too many irons in the fire.
Yeah. Okay. I would just like to give Daryl the
Yeah,
opportunity to
That'd be
look
good.
into it and then we
Yeah.
can come back with it.
Perfect.
I'd encourage Daryl to write us a new permitting process for this with some of the input that we have and then present
Yeah.
it at another time.
But we're not gonna let this like just put the back burner and go away.
No.
So we'll stay on it, Mark.
Yeah, no, I said, I just wanted to ask the question and it won't be any problem, no matter what the decision is, I'm 110% fine with. I can work with what the state's already allowed. I just, as a luxury to me, I guess, to have a little flexibility in that would be greatly appreciated, but I completely understand and respect the concerns that there may be along with this from the county's perspective, so. All right.
Hey, thanks, Mark.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Yep,
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, one other question. If you're looking at doing this, what kind of timeframes would you be trying to do this within?
Oh,
I mean, when you're talking testing, you're not.
not
the
after 10
shell.
o'clock or anything ridiculous. My neighbor to the east, I don't want to disrespect her or her dog. So, yeah, I mean, it would, again, no later than 10 o'clock, but I'd have to wait for it to be dark. Yeah, depending on the time of the year.
Yep, I just wanted to have that put in there as well.
Yeah, and if there's other questions that come up, please let me know. And I can stop back to you. If any.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get back to
All
work.
right. Thanks,
Thank you
Mark.
very much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Yep, you bet. All right. Next item I have is a resolution between Grundy and Hardin County, resurfacing 3 miles on County Highway S-75.
So this has been a few years coming. I have gone through the Grundy County engineer and the Grundy County attorney and our own attorney, looking over this agreement so that we can finally pave the 3 miles there that need done between us and Grundy. So any questions you have are fine, but pretty much the gist of it is we're the contracting authority, Hardin County is, and then they will reimburse us within 5 years of 50% of the cost.
Estimated cost $1 million. I'll make a motion to approve the resolution between Grundy County and Hardin County on HMA resurfacing 3 miles of County Highway S-75.
I will second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Angela?
Lance,
Aye.
Renee,
Aye.
BJ,
Aye. Thank you, Taylor. Next item is the compensation board recommendations. The compensation board met on December 15th, 2020. And at the end of their meeting, they made recommendations, which included a 2% increase for the county auditor, a 2% increase for the Hardin County attorney, 2% increase for the recorder, 3% increase for the sheriff, 2.5% increase for the supervisors, and a 2% increase for the Hardin County treasurer.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution as presented to approve the compensation board recommendations.
I will second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Discussion, please.
Yeah, I think they had a lot of input on this. If you remember a year ago, the supervisors took 0 and 3/4 to everybody else. A 3% to the sheriff, I think, is right in line. And in order to go any lower on anything else, we would have to accommodate the 2% on everybody else, which again, they only took 3/4 of what was approved last year. This number will keep climbing every year if we don't act on it. And from what I've gotten from other counties, these are low percent increases.
Yeah, I can concur with you, Lance. The other thing that is important to remember is that this isn't personal opinion. These, the comp board is regulated by Iowa Code Chapter 331.905 and 331.907. So it's not a matter of any of our elected officials setting their own wages. These are members of the public that come together. Sometimes it's an hour process, sometimes in this case, 2.5, 3 hour process, but they're presented data from ISAC, from other entities. And so I believe the process has to be trusted and followed through. So, okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, Angela?
Renee,
Aye.
Lance,
Aye.
BJ,
Aye. Next I have is the compensation increase resolution. So this is the formal resolution.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the compensation increase resolution.
No second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I'd like to thank you for the time they put into that.
Absolutely. Angela?
Renee,
Aye.
Lance,
Aye.
BJ,
Aye. Motion carries. Discuss with possible action the commission, board and commission appointment policy. So this was brought up as, I think we've talked about it every year that I've been here about the public's willingness to serve on some of our, or all of our volunteer boards and commissions. It's getting more difficult every year. And so we have a lot of talented, dedicated, engaged people that are doing it. And one of the things that hinders us is in that policy, item number 2, appointees to county boards and commissions, excluding supervisors, shall serve no more than 10 consecutive years or 3 terms, whichever is less. And so when we have great talent, dedicated, engaged individuals, I think sometimes we're limiting the people that are on the boards. And so I brought this up for discussion, dialogue today to see if we want to make any changes.
Well, looking at it, they also exclude the condemnation board and the Veterans Affairs Commission.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to exclude the policy, or do you want to exclude more boards and commissions? I believe it was originally put on there because they had an issue with one commission. And I think that the supervisors themselves should be able to control that without this policy being in place.
Right.
They created a policy, from my understanding, the policy was created so that it helped people know ahead of time that they would only serve up to 10 years on some of these well-wanted commissions. And there's quite a few, in some cases, there's quite a few people that want to serve on these commissions.
Mm-hmm.
So
On some of them, I mean, it's like BJ said, some they don't.
so
You
we
don't
have a
have to
hard time
beg.
finding people.
And then other commissions, there are a list of people.
And I think trustees, now that they're appointed by the Board of Supervisors, all the Buckeye Township trustees would fall under this policy as well. And I really don't want them to be under this policy because sometimes it's hard to find
Right, yeah,
people that will serve, especially clerks. So I don't mind getting rid of the appointment policy unless we're just want to make a policy for the one that we are trying to target.
That was my thought. I would just prefer to repeal the whole policy, and then if a need comes up that we need to address something, then address it at that time. Or, somebody wants to look into a different policy.
Iowa code change based on, because I know Iowa code has some jurisdiction over conservation boards and boards of health, their specific code sections. Unless something in one of those code sections would take precedence over not having a policy, I guess I'm open to anything. Daryl, were you able to determine if there's any reason that repealing this policy, what impact that would have or not have?
I think if there was another code section that applied to a specific body, you'd still be bound by the law.
Right.
So even if you repealed this, you know, it wouldn't be like you're violating another code section. Maybe a solution is just to say, unless good cause is found to, some good cause sort of exception to the 10-year policy or 3-term policy that you have. That way, somebody that wants to stay on, and if nobody else is interested, they don't have to leave because you have a policy that says they might leave. So there's another solution to this rather than eliminating the 10-year, 3-year limitation. You could just say, unless good cause is found to exceed that.
I'm okay with that.
Well, and my thought is the only thing that's left in here that I would recommend keeping would be number 3 and number 5. And those are just kind of a procedural thing that upon a vacancy that we appoint a replacement. Well, that's kind of a no-brainer. And a person that's considering appointment to a board or commission may submit a written letter of interest to the board, which is what we do every December anyway. When we go to buildings, it's put in the paper to notify people that we're making appointments, and we could list which boards we're filling vacancies on at that time. I mean, that's kind of how it's been handled. So I don't know that we need a policy to really include those two things, but my opinion.
No, I would agree. I don't know. I'm with you there, Renee, that I don't think we need a policy to explain that we're going to take applications. And I don't think we need to have a part of that policy to explain that if there's a vacancy, we're going to fill it.
Right. So if we do away with number 2, it pretty much does away with 6 through 9.
Right. I'd be willing to any motion at this point.
I would make a motion to repeal the Hardin County Board and Commission appointment policy.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Additional discussion.
Yeah, if we ever decide that we want to change this, we could create a new policy.
Correct. Agreed.
Further discussion? Hearing none. Angela, roll call, please.
Renee,
Aye.
Lance,
Aye.
DJ,
Aye. Motion carries. Next item I have is a proposal for the 2021 wellness program submitted by the Hardin County Wellness Committee.
Lean on. Have comments, or we just go by the order?
The documents were uploaded
Okay.
to the meeting agenda.
Okay. True.
Well, this is a program where people can earn money by doing wellness programs. Trying to state that it does encourage employees to do things with a monetary bonus to it. Last year I voted no on this. I'm probably going to do the same. I believe that we provide the insurance and people should want to take care of themselves. I'm not saying it's a bad program, that's just my feelings. Versus paying them out of the insurance pool. This is not just for Hardin County employees, this is for anybody in the Hardin County pool.
True.
One of the statistics, it's listed on the document, 62 people registered for the wellness program and 48 of those people completed the program. And part of that program was immunizations. We had very minor small health fair the day of the flu shot immunization clinic. So looking at the raw data and from a healthcare standpoint, Lance and I will agree to disagree, and that's okay. I think if we catch one person that wouldn't have gotten a mammogram one person that wouldn't have gotten the colonoscopy, one person that wouldn't have got their A1C check, that we can prevent, you know.
I agree with all that.
Right, yeah, the incentivization, is where we disagree, so, that's my point of view.
And I think in order to participate, we have to, employees have to first have an exam, a physical exam by the doctor, which is an incentive for people that maybe wouldn't normally do it, but if they're gonna get $25 for from the insurance pool for going to the doctor, they can save a lot more than that later due to something that might be found.
And the
So,
insurance company pays for that exam.
Correct.
yes,
Yeah, right.
sure,
And that's where I feel the incentive is already there.
right, but, I mean, they have a copay and whatever, and this is probably just a little more added.
I think the first visit is
Incentive.
free, no copay.
Yeah, if that's a wellness exam.
Okay, all right. But last year we also did a water challenge, we did a walking challenge. Just, I think it encourages employees to do things that maybe they weren't normally doing on their own.
Oh, I don't disagree with that.
So I would make a motion to approve the Hardin County Wellness Committee's recommendation for the wellness program.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, roll call, Angela.
Renee,
Aye.
Lance,
Nay.
PJ,
Aye. Motion carries. Next item I have is approval of the auditor's monthly report.
I'll make a motion to approve the auditor's monthly report of 12/1/2020, or December of 2020.
I will second it.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next item I have is recorder's monthly report.
I'll make a motion to approve the recorder's monthly report for the month of December.
I will second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Next item I have is a school choice week proclamation. Would like me to read it?
Sure.
Okay.
I didn't know if we had a guest speaker for that or not.
No,
Okay.
not that I'm aware of. Whereas all children in Hardin County should have access to the highest quality education possible, and whereas Hardin County recognizes the important role that an effective education plays in preparing all students in Hardin County to be successful adults, and whereas quality education is critically important to the economic vitality of Hardin County, and whereas Hardin County is home to a multitude of high-quality public and non-public schools from which parents can choose for their children, in addition to families who educate their children in the home, and whereas educational variety not only helps to diversify our economy, but also enhances the vibrancy of our community, and whereas Hardin County has many high-quality teaching professionals in all types of school settings who are committed to educating our children, and whereas School Choice Week is celebrated across the country by millions of students, parents, educators, schools, and organizations to raise awareness of the need for effective educational options. Now, therefore, the Hardin County Board of Supervisors recognizes January 24th to 30th, 2021 as Hardin County School Choice Week and calls this observance to the attention of our citizens.
I'll make a motion to approve the Hardin County School Choice Week proclamation.
I will second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion.
Yeah, I'd like to thank all these people for doing that, teachers, parents, everything. This year's been very difficult with COVID. And I'm assuming this coming year will be just as bad. It's making work twice as hard for everybody.
I agree, and it's amazing in the mornings driving to see our bus drivers and our, school dietary staff, our para-educators, our crossing guard. I mean, all those people that have come together and working as a team to do the best for the children. And it means a lot. I did have one public comment about this proclamation. This was brought to my attention that, while school choice is an important thing, there are not that many choices in Hardin County. And the open enrollment can hurt some districts in Hardin County. Because the main source of funding for our public schools is that per pupil in the seat stipend. And so when open enrollment happens, that school choice part of open enrollment can be very detrimental to our schools. And I told this member of the public I would bring that up because I think it's a very valid point. But at the same time, I think whether you're in the Iowa Falls, Alden, Acton, Geneva, Wellsburg, Steamboat Rock, the South Hardin District, or BCL, I think we have committed staff and we're doing our best. I think to defend the open enrollment policy, there's just certain things that do fit different families better, whether it's education with a biblical worldview or commuting or work schedules. So some of those things need to be taken into consideration as well. But overall, I'm glad there is school choice and that the support for our educators and educational system is there. So. All right, I have a motion on the floor and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, next thing I have is other business.
I have no other business.
DJ, could you ask there's somebody who's labeled as iPad up there?
Okay. Michael, I'm gonna have you unmute iPad. And if iPad could just state your name, I'd appreciate it for the record.
This is Greg Barnett, Butler County Supervisor, just watching in.
No problem, thanks, Greg. Okay, with that, I can ask for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, I will second.
A motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned.